Have you checked out all the new handicappers at Sportsmemo? If not, here's your chance. For the next week, you can take 50% off any and all purchases using code TRYMEMO. This includes anything and everything from daily packages to 12-month all-access passes. Our new roster of experts is 30 deep, giving you tons of options to choose from. All you have to do is go to sportsmemo.com, choose the handicapper of your choice, use the coupon code TRYMEMO at checkout, and save 50% on your purchase. Repeat as many times as you want until midnight on Sunday.
All right, guys, away we go. Welcome in. It is time for another edition of the NBA Tip-Off Show, powered by WagerTalk.com. Absolutely loaded card in the association tonight. We got 4 games we want to go over with you here today. Those 4 will include the red-hot Phoenix Suns taking on the Orlando Magic. We're going to talk a little Timberwolves here today, as well as the Denver Nuggets. And is Toronto still an NBA team? We're also going to talk about the Atlanta Hawks taking on the Sacramento Kings. And we are going to do all of this with 3 of the finest gentlemen and handicappers and scholars that you will ever meet, starting at the top. It's not every day you get Brian Leonard in the house, and he is here today, as is the Don. There he is. Teddy Covers in the middle. And, of course, Tony Mejia in the house, ready to go. And, Brian, let me start with you, my friend. Welcome back to the show. How is it's a little crazy in March. You might have heard of the madness, but how you been otherwise, and what do you got going tonight in WagerTalk.com?
Yeah, doing really well. Back in Vegas. Got my shot yesterday, so I'm very happy. 4-2 in hockey the last 2 days, passed in basketball. Or excuse me, 4-1, I'm sorry, the last 2 days. And I've got 3 hockey up and 1 NBA. But if you stick around for my best bet, you'll get my NBA for free today. So a little hype for later on in the video. But yeah, looking excited and excited to be working with you fine gentlemen today.
I love it. Teddy, that's what they call a tease, my friend. You know that. Very well done there, Brian. Thank you, Teddy. What do you got going on? Sportsmemo.com as well as WagerTalk.com. What do you got in store for us tonight here?
Yeah, I figured you would know all about being a tease, Joe.
Bastard.
Yeah, it's real simple. So I lost on this show yesterday, and I lost for my clients last night. Not good. That said, new day today. I have 3 plays up and posted at WagerTalk and Sportsmemo.com. You get them all together. A value-priced 3-pack. I think it's $29 at the website today. So you can check it out right now at WagerTalk or Sportsmember.com. Even off a bad night last night, still 58% in the NBA dating back to the bubble last August. So it's been steady, it's been consistent, and it's been long-term. So we can keep it rolling with the 3 plays this evening.
That all equals profits, guys. That's what it is all about. It is a marathon, not a sprint. Ask Tony Mejia. He'll tell you, my man. What's going on, brother? You ready for the madness this weekend, I'm sure. How did you do last night? What do you got going on today at WagerTalk.com?
Very much ready for the madness. Got all my numbers ready. I think my 5% play for the weekend is going to come up. I went 29-7 for those who haven't seen in the NCAA tournament over since Friday night. So I really started off slowly. But yeah, 29-7 run, which is outstanding, obviously. And I have a free play up in the CBI final, which is Pepperdine against Coastal Carolina. So you can get that for free at wt.buzz/TM. NBA-wise, went 1-1, both 4% last night. Lost with the Blazers. I liked them over the Nets. Didn't happen. And obviously, my 4% ended up being my show's best bet, which was the Pelicans destroying the Lakers, which happened next.
Yeah, there's a lot of question marks in the association right now, especially leading up to the Thursday trade deadline. But full card here tonight that we're going to go over with you guys here. We're going to start, of course, with the Contrarian game and play of the day. Last night, we looked at the Miami Heat back at home against the Phoenix Suns. It didn't turn out really well for Miami because, once again, inconsistency from behind the arc is what usually does them in. Did it again last night. But we find ourselves in a contrarian spot once again with this Phoenix Suns team, only they're taking on a little north of South Beach, that being Orlando. The Magic now getting 10 in the, my Lord, is that even a team anymore? Opened up at 7.5. It is now 10 here, guys, in many places across the board. So We know the Phoenix Suns are red hot here. Brian Leonard, that 110-100 win against Miami. That's 21 of their last 26. Conversely, though, Orlando is hot garbage. But they do surprise every now and then with that win over Brooklyn. We watched that over the weekend. So do you agree with this big a market move right now? And is there any way in hell you would back the contrarian side in Orlando here?
This is a tough one to handicap. In fact, a lot of them today will be. You mentioned the trade deadline. Orlando's already said two of their best three players, they're getting ready to trade. I'm assuming they're not going to play tonight, which is why the line is moved. You take a look at this Orlando offense, and I don't think it's being coached up correctly. Your best things you want to look at is shooting at the rim and shooting corner threes. Orlando shooting at the rim in a shot attempts this season, 30th in the league. You want to force your opposition to shoot mid-range shots, long mid-range, if possible. Orlando's number one in the country in shooting long mid-range. They shoot there a lot. That's why they're not scoring. They also don't shoot the corner three. They're 30th in the league in attempts at corner three. It's just, I don't know if it's the personnel there or if it's the coaching, but either way, it's leading to disaster. And there's a way to tank. And I think the coaching staff is doing it by the way they're organizing these games. Phoenix, 5th game in 7 days, back-to-back. Can't lay double digits on the road here with Phoenix. Can't take Orlando. I'll pull the Switzerland flag here and say I'm passing on this game.
Get the flag ready for him. Just get the flag. Put it up. God damn it. He went Switzerland on us. I can't believe it. There he is. Brian Leonard going Switzerland on us. Teddy covers, my friend. I know you got something on this. He brings up a solid point, though. Kind of hard given the road schedule of Phoenix to go double digits, even though it's against Orlando. How are you going to approach it?
So the only way I can play this game is the Magic. Okay. Brian talked about the scheduling dynamics here for Phoenix. 5th game in 7 nights off of 3 straight wins and a comfortable, don't be fooled by the final score last night, 110-100. The Suns blew them out. And Miami wasn't in the game from the second quarter on. And it was a fairly easy win for Phoenix. But it's still 5 and 7, second set of back-to-backs, obviously, during that span. And you're laying doubles on the highway. With a team that is the single best point spread team, NBA team whose betting ban wants to get bigger. With every 9 and 13 ATS, I made a case yesterday that, maybe the markets have caught up with Phoenix. And that certainly wasn't the case last night. I can't lay this price with the Suns. It can only be Orlando or pass. The problem with the Magic, and it's not like Orlando's in a great spot, and they fought for a while against, was it Denver last night? Yep. And then what happens? The Magic, your bottom feeder teams can fight. And then when they take that fourth quarter punch, they don't punch back. And that's exactly what happened with Orlando last night. And it worries me about them here. But if I'm playing, I can only take the points, not lay them. I think this price is just too high.
Yeah, Tony, it's interesting. We're looking at they won by 19, I think, last time they played here. They're averaging wins by 13 points, this Phoenix squad lately. How do you approach it?
Well, key number for me last night was 27. That's the number of minutes that Chris Paul and Devin Booker had to play to dispose of the Heat. And that means that they'll probably have a much better shot of being fresher tonight than they would have had they played 38 plus. So that is a break in Phoenix's favor. And it looks like I'm going to fight the contrarian play of the day, Joe, my evil nemesis.
Do it!
Because I don't see any way that the Orlando Magic can hang around in this game. They came out again, and it was Nikola Jokic against Nikola Vucevic last night, both really tight. They're friends. But the Magic had no pulse to start that game. It looked like the Nuggets were going through a walkthrough. I'm serious. I watched the entire thing.
Yep.
And it was a double-digit lead after one. Magic kind of pulled it back a little bit, showed some fight in the second and third quarters, and then, as Teddy referenced, had nothing in the fourth. And the fact that Aaron Gordon and Evan Fournier are both on the trade block, that is something to keep an eye out for. To their more proficient offensive players. You know what you're going to get out of Nikola Vucevic. He's an excellent offensive player. They build their offense around him, but doesn't give you much on defense. and that's why teams can get to the rim as easily as they can against Orlando, who, in their defense, lost Jonathan Isaac, their top defensive player. So with Gordon potentially going to sit, to me, this looks like a situation where you either play Phoenix or nothing.
Interesting. All right, guys, across the board there. That is the Orlando Magic taking on the Phoenix Suns at home here tonight. That's your contrarian game. Let's move on to one of our featured games here today. And wouldn't you know it, we happen to have an angle of the day associated with this featured game from our good friend John Ryan at sportsmemo.com. And he sends us, we want to bet on road favorites that are coming off a blowout win of 20 or more points and are facing a host that is coming off 3 straight games of both scoring and allowing over 100 points. Those road favorites, 46, 19, and 2 against the number, including 4-1 this month alone. He's saying bet on the Mavericks minus the points over to Timberwolves, which is our featured game here. Number 1 opened up 6.5. What do we got? 7, 7.5. I'm seeing a lot of 8s. I'm seeing a total of 231 at this point as the total rises a little. So Teddy, talk to me. Is it as simple as a Dallas or not for you in this one?
No, the Mavs are a team I struggle with. All right. I keep on thinking Dallas is good, and I bet on them, and they look terrible. And then I'm like, okay, Dallas is bad, and then I bet on them, and I bet against them, and they look great. So I'm having a hard time with Dallas right now. And when with me, in my situation, when I'm having a hard time with the team, I'm not going to try to bang my head against the wall over and over again with the team. We'll leave them alone for a week or two. Then we'll come back and look at Dallas again. But right now, I'm not doing a whole lot with the Mavs. All that said, the Mavs have been a bad point spread team against bottom feeders. They failed to cover their last 5 against teams with a winning percentage of lower than 400. And they're just 1-7 against the spread after scoring $125 or more in their previous game, like they had in the big blowout win over Portland. I can easily picture a scenario in which Dallas destroys this team, and I can easily picture a scenario in which Minnesota, I'll give the T-Wolves credit. They've been fighting hard. For a bottom feeder, they play hard, and we haven't seen a whole lot of quit from any of the bottom feeders in the NBA this season. But, you get what you pay for. They're bottom feeders. And in theory, Dallas is supposed to be able to name the score. Probably lean over before I lean side in this one, but not a game I'm going to get involved with.
Not good, Tony, at home. 5-15, this Minnesota squad here. We know Doncic. Now he's feeling a little MVP talk going on now that LeBron went down. So we know what we're probably going to get from him. What about the rest of this Dallas squad? What do you think?
I mean, Kristaps Porzingis is probably going to stay put. I don't think anybody trades for him. And for Minnesota, I think there's a sense of urgency from all of the reserves and guys getting major minutes right now because looking up, Malik Beasley's going to return this weekend from his 12-game suspension. D'Angelo Russell has resumed basketball activities, so he should be back next week. They've also been without, who am I missing there? Multiple players that have also not been around that they had counted on to be fixtures in that rotation, which has cleared the spots for guys like Jalen Noel and Ricky Rubio to play major minutes as a starting point guard. So I think you'll see them play much better. Which lends to the over, I think, here, because I'm not going to take points with the Timberwolves, but I do think that Karl Anthony Towns is back in rhythm. There's nobody on Dallas that can stop him. There's nobody on the Timberwolves that can stop Luka Doncic, even though they'll try with Josh Okogie. But it's Doncic right now in a very great rhythm. And from my understanding of it, I would not be surprised if this gets into the 240s. So I like the over here. It'll be a client play later.
So does the market there. Jared Culver back active. I don't know if that changes your mind at all, Tony. I didn't think so. Yeah, there you go. Or talk to me here, Brian.
That's
Talk to me, Brian. What do you think? Market says over, maybe a total, but the side has also gone up a little bit. Who do you like in this one?
Yeah, take a look at Dallas's schedule. They played on the 19th and the 21st in Portland. Today will be the second of 11 straight games in which they play on different courts.
Wow.
They do come home for a couple of games, but they play the one game and then they go off on the court again, off on the road. So this should be a pretty tired team as we take a look at the next couple of weeks here. I don't want to play Minnesota here, but you take a look at what Dallas wants to do. They want to shoot three-pointers. They're fifth in the league in three-point attempts. third and non-corner threes. And Minnesota's a team who does not defend those areas very well. So Dallas should be able to get the shots they want, which means if it goes in, they're going to cover easily. If they don't go in, they could actually lose this game. I think the better play, since they're able to get what they want from the three-point range, would possibly sell a few points and try to get some plus money on playing Dallas at maybe -10 or so, and lay the little bit extra on the points and get a plus money return if you can. I like to lay. I would much rather sell points in the NBA than buy points, especially when you get a team that shoots a lot of three-pointers. A lot more variance, just like in the NCAA tournament. Teams that shoot good foul shots, good foul shooting, and shoot three-pointers, and you make them as an underdog, that's a team that you want to back. We've seen a lot of that so far. But it's not an official play for me, but if I was to play it, Dallas, get the plus money coming back.
All right, like that. A little alternate line action there for the Mavs here tonight in that one. We're going to move on to another one of the hottest teams in the NBA recently. How about the Denver Nuggets taking on the Toronto Raptors? Now, Teddy knows this. Our good friend Gabe Morency over at Sports Grid is in mourning. Big Raptors fan. Guy loves his Toronto Raptors, and there is absolutely nothing to love with them lately. Over the last 11 games, 1-10 straight up. Third worst net rating in the NBA, Tony Mejia. I don't know. What do you do? I mean, against the Denver Nuggets in Tampa, which is really Toronto's home. What do you do with this team at this point?
All right, Joe, this would be a potential sentimental spot. You got Kyle Lowry playing his final game in front of all the Canadian fans. Oh, wait, no.
Yeah.
Where the Lightning play their hockey. But anyway, so we got Lowry, we got Norman Powell on the block. We've got a Raptors team that couldn't beat the Rockets the other night, and a Denver team that gets to hang out in Florida for the foreseeable future, considering they've been, playing in Orlando and now here, going. It's like a 45-minute trip. So I think that the Nuggets will have their legs; they'll be fine. And I just don't see any fight from the Raptors until they turn this page. And they could keep Lowry and they could keep Powell, and then they'll make a push potentially to be in the play-ins of the Eastern Conference. But I think this trade deadline is hanging over their head. So it's Denver or nothing for me.
Denver or nothing for you. And you know this, Brian. They hopped on I-4 and went right west to Tampa from Orlando. Didn't take them long to get there. So do you trust Denver? Maybe a little tired here in this situation on this trip, or is it, just give me the Nuggets?
Yeah, it's tough to make a case for either one. Denver second to back-to-back, about an hour and a half drive from Orlando to Tampa, and on the way back also. Toronto right now, I don't want to bet Toronto, and they're up for sale, basically. They've got some players that they'll be sitting out, players that they've already talked about moving. Don't know how many people will be interested in them tonight, but it's tough to lay points on the road in the NBA when you're tired and you play defense. But it would be Denver or nothing for me. But once again, a game that I probably won't get involved in.
Anubi is active there for Toronto. I mean, Teddy, does the market sometimes overreact to the whole back-to-back and the scheduling situation, or do you think the move from 1 to -3 now is warranted?
Well, yesterday, before we came on air, the line opened at one sportsbook with Toronto -1, and we were talking off air, and I'm like, that's a bad line. And it was a bad line. It went from Toronto -1 to Denver -1 when it opened, and now I'm seeing threes now across the board. It just got hit again. And the leading indicator books are 3.5 for this game. So the wise guys like the Nuggets. The public likes the Nuggets. Here's a quote from Nick Nurse. And this came after, because Toronto's last 2 games have been let go of the rope games. You know, they were fighting. They went to Cleveland and were non-competitive, and then went to Houston and were non-competitive. So here's a quote. You know, for a Toronto team, again, they play 14 of the next 20 at home in Tampa. But Nick Nurse, this season has been about as hard as it could have been, to be honest, but I believe these things even out, so things should be looking awesome soon. That's a coach who's got The Raptors have let go of the rope. And when a team lets go of the rope, you don't bet them until you see signs that they have. So it can only be Denver. But there's no freaking way after the line move to lay with Denver here in what is clearly a Toronto spot. No, it's a pass. There's no way. I don't want either side here. Clearest pass on the board.
Burn it. And the total also 224 is an over 223.5 too in that game as well, guys. So, all right, that leaves us with an overtime matchup. Before we get there, we'll, of course, just remind you guys quickly, best bets up and available right now at WagerTalk.com. Brian Leonard, visit his page, ready to go. Get ready, though. He does have a NBA play he's going to give out for free here coming up in just a minute. Also, Tony Mejia, locked and loaded. Get ready, as well as Teddy covers here, especially March Madness and the association. It's a loaded card over the next couple of days. Do yourself a favor. Grab those 3-day, 7-day, or even 30-day all-access passes right now. Never miss a play from these three gentlemen. Let's take a look at the overtime matchup here today, guys. And it's an interesting matchup because the numbers have gone down. This opened up at 238.5? And we're seeing 230.5s now in a number of places, and that being the Hawks and the Kings here tonight. So let me go to you, Bryce. Start with you first. Talk to me. That's a big move for a total there from 238.5 to 230.5. Your thoughts? Over or not? Under? Is there any value?
Yeah, there was value on the under originally, but I don't know if it's any value any longer. The Hawks team had an 8-game winning streak. They beat the Lakers, and then they lose to the Clippers. Obviously, tough situation. A lot of teams after they beat the Lakers are going to have a tough day the next game out, and the Clippers took it to them 119-110. But they're on that West Coast string right now. They are playing pretty good ball, but usually after you have a winning streak snapped, I don't like to turn around and bet on that team again to just turn it back on again. Here with Atlanta going to Sacramento, if you take a look at the way these teams have played so far, Sacramento's best at defending the three. They keep the opposition from shooting the three. But when they do shoot the three, they don't cover it very well. 28th in the league in defense, defending the three. They just force the other team to take more shots mid-range, which is a good thought process there. Sacramento defends the three at the corner three well, but the non-corner threes, Atlanta could get whatever they want, but they're only like league average in shooting that. Sacramento's just too up and down for me. It's that point of the season where every year where you come in as Sacramento as a team that, hey, they've got some talent on this team, and we can't wait to see them play. Well, Sacramento's back to where they normally are at this time of the season, getting ready to sit this one out. Like Atlanta, I think they're the better team. Don't want them in this situation. I'll be passing once again. And all the under has been taken out of it. I don't see any value any longer.
Teddy, perception versus reality with these two teams. Atlanta has found some defense, which is why they won all these games as of recently. So talk to me about, do you agree? I'm assuming you agree with the move down. Is it gone too much, or is there still some value to the under with you?
I mean, I'm not going to recommend anyone takes 6 points the worst of it for any bet. I thought the under was a good bet. At the current line, I could only recommend under because I think under's the right side, but it's not a positive expectation wager to get the worst of the number. It just isn't. All that said, I mean, the Hawks under Nate McMillan have played defense consistently. The Hawks got DeAndre Hunter back, who is arguably their best defensive player, all of which points under. The Hawks led by 22 late third quarter against the Clippers and then let that game get away and then actually failed to cover in the final minute when the Clips went nuts from three-point range. The post-game quotes from Atlanta were defense. Our defense fell apart. We didn't do defense, which is nothing like the quotes we were seeing from Atlanta, earlier in the year under Lloyd Pierce. Now, Sacramento's primed for a no-show tonight. They had a great road trip, very fat and happy. They won at Washington. They won at Boston. They got slapped at Philly and then came back and blew out Cleveland. So I'm expecting a flat effort from, and boy, the Luke Walton quotes after the Cavs win were like, "We're the best. We're so happy." I mean, it was ridiculous. Luke Walton's not my. So from a side standpoint, I would look at the Hawks here. From a total standpoint, I did lean under, but the value's been taken out of it. These two teams met in Atlanta just a couple of weeks ago, and the total in that game closed 239.
Oof.
They got to 227. Which is not that far from where the number is right now.
Yeah. It's the last 10, 216 points for an average there, Tony Mejia, between these two teams. 238.5 just seemed absurd, but I don't know. 230, is it under or not for you?
I guess so. I mean, I put the number at 234.5, so I guess I'm middle.
Wow.
But it's because of the personnel involved. I think De'Aaron Fox looks at Trae Young and thinks filet mignon because the worst defensive point guard in the league. And Fox is going, man. That's one guy that's going, but he healed on that road trip. He was on it with his perimeter touch. But the variable here for me, which on both ends, on both the total and riding Sacramento, which is what I would want to do, is Harrison Barnes, because one of the most talked about names during this trade deadline is Harrison Barnes. He's had an excellent season, really efficient for Sacramento. And if he's out of the mix, Marvin Bagley's already been ruled out, then you're hurting for forwards if you're the Kings, and the Hawks all of a sudden look a little stronger there with Hunter back. They won't have Cam Reddish, and Danilo Gallinari's a game-time decision, I guess. But Capella's back. Hawks have been really enthused to play for Nate McMillan. So probably a no-touch all around for me.
All right, avoiding it altogether, but I don't have a choice now. I can't avoid anything because it is time for buzzer beaters, guys. Best bet time here across the board. We throw 60 seconds on the clock, give each of these gentlemen to do whatever the hell they want with it. As long as they give us a best bet, we're all right with it. So, Brian, you're running point, my man. Wouldn't trust anybody else to start this half court than you. So 60 seconds on the clock, my friend. Talk to us. Best bet time in the association. Where are you going tonight? All
right, let's go to Charlotte at Houston tonight. One of those big games everybody will be watching. Charlotte's a team that lost their point guard. Ball got hurt against the Clippers on the 20th. They ended up losing that game 125-98. They did come back the next game, as you would expect, and they beat San Antonio 197 in a spot you would be looking to play on that team. Now they got to go into Houston, a team who's lost 20 straight and finally got the win last time out. I think this game sets up very well for Houston. Shooting at the rim, they shoot sixth most in the league. Charlotte's defense, they do not defend the rim very well. You take a look at threes. Houston third in corner threes, 7 and 9 quarter threes, fourth in all threes. And Charlotte's defense allows a lot of three-point shooting. Charlotte wants you to shoot mid-range. Houston doesn't shoot mid-range. Give me Houston. I think they win this game outright. 2 wins in a row for the Rockets.
Woo-wee! Bagging out Houston. I love it. Very nice. You made up for that Switzerland flag you got earlier in the show. Very nice there, Brian. Appreciate it. All right, Teddy, you know how to finish. Come on, my man. We got 60 seconds on the clock. Where are you going in the association?
So the betting markets seem to think that the Milwaukee Bucks are just fine. They're fixed, and at 28-14, they're great. And here are the Bucks right back to the top of the standings. And you look at the advanced metric stats for the Bucks, and they're now top 4, fourth in the league in offensive efficiency. They're top 10 defensive efficiency, numbers that weren't there earlier in the season. All that's true, except for the fact that there's been one commonality for Milwaukee all year that hasn't changed. The Bucks are very capable of beating up on weak opposition. When they're asked to face even modestly stronger opposition, they fail and fail and fail again. I've got Milwaukee when they're dogs or favorites of -8 or less. This team's 5-14 against the spread this season. And a lot of those fives you can put big asterisks by. The bad team in a bad spot or a weird situation. Give me the Celtics.
Woo! Through the throw, come up. And I'm looking to, I was like, well, the line is shot up. Is Tatum playing? Nope, Tatum's playing. Walker's playing. Everybody's playing for Boston. That's absolutely crazy. All right, I'm all over it with you, Teddy. I'm already hitting play right now. Go
There
ahead.
were concerns about Giannis.
Yes,
And it looks like Giannis is going to play.
Yep. So it doesn't make a difference to me.
That's
I'm good. I'm with you all over Boston. Come on, Mejia. Talk to us. 60 seconds, my friend. Talk to me. I know you're going to dribble around a little, so go ahead. Talk to us. Where are you going here tonight?
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and go start fast with the fact that the Brooklyn Nets will come into Salt Lake City in the altitude without Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant and Landry Shamet for sure. And I don't think James Harden's going to play. Granted, I didn't think James Harden was going to play yesterday, and that burned me big time. He had 17 assists and was the driving force in an upset of the Blazers. But the fact is that you want him to rest his neck injury. DeAndre Jordan played last night. Blake Griffin played. You want to give those two guys an opportunity to sit, I think, on the second night of a back-to-back. Again, in altitude against the best team in the league. You take the sell if you're the Brooklyn Nets and say, oh, well, we didn't want to show up for this one. We got our jollies last night. And the fact that the total is still at 230 after opening at 233.5, it might be light work for the Utah Jazz, who have Rudy Gobert coming off a 9-block game and have unders in 3 of the last 4.
Nice. Do want to let you know there's obviously a disconnect between you and Harden. I just want to let you know. And Teddy, I think he's been upgraded to probable tonight, has he not?
Yeah, the markets, but much like last night, the markets were going in one direction,
right?
And we're saying he wasn't going to play, and then it turns out that he did play. Yep. And then tonight, the markets are going in the direction he's not going to play. The latest info I have is that he's been upgraded to probable. Whether it plays or whether he plays or not, at this stage, we don't know. But the markets are saying they don't expect the
DFS lineup. But
yeah, I know. I was going to say your DFS is going to change big time with that. All right, guys, one more time. Let's recap it here and also tell you about our friends from the Gold Sheet who have a play of the day. They're going, Switzerland be damned, Brian Leonard. Denver Nuggets laid a 3. Our friends from the Gold Sheet, they don't care there. But don't forget, guys, all our Gold Sheet plays of the day can be located, full write-ups, at our Wager Talk page on Twitter. So make sure you subscribe there. Check them out. Here is a recap of the best bets here tonight. We got Brian Leonard going Rockets. Give me Houston in 3.5. Teddy likes the Celtics 6.5, and that looks like it continues to go up. I'm with him there. Tony Mejia, Nets and Jazz under 230 here tonight, and the Nuggets laying 3. Our friends from the Gold Sheet. And don't forget, guys, now would be a good time heading into the latter part of the weekend, into the weekend. Get yourself a 3-day, 7-day, 30-day all-access pass. Best bets are up there tonight for Brian Leonard, for Teddy Covers, and, of course, for Tony Mejia. So make sure you guys head over there. No reason not to make it a profitable night in the association here tonight. So make sure you visit them at WagerTalk.com. On behalf of Brian Leonard, Teddy Covers, and Tony Mejia, guys, hit that bell in the upper right-hand corner and make plans to come back and join us again tomorrow as we do it all over again for another edition of the NBA Tip-Off Show. Best of luck with your plays tonight, guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Have you checked out all the new handicappers at SportsMemo? If not, here's your chance. For the next week, you can take 50% off any and all purchases using code TRYMEMO. This includes anything and everything from daily packages to 12-month all-access passes. Our new roster of experts is 30 deep, giving you tons of options to choose from. All you have to do is go to sportsmemo.com, choose the handicapper of your choice, use the coupon code TRYMEMO at checkout, and save 50% on your purchase. Repeat as many times as you want until midnight on Sunday.